Hi everyone, it's Laura here for ModaScrap, and today we are going to celebrate Christmas in July with a video tutorial showing you how to create a handmade picture frame which can double as home decor or as a gift idea. Before diving into today's project, I wanted to show you the products that I used. The stamp set here is called Unconventional Christmas and it's really fun. It features a lot of images of kids and critters and also Christmas themed sentiments. The stamp set comes not only with coordinating dies that will die cut your images, but also with coordinating papers. The one you see on screen here is the 12 by 12 paper pad, but there is also a 6 by 6 paper pad which is available for purchase and it's perfect for card making. The papers I used for the frame are part of the Christmas LE collection, so this is a limited edition collection that came out last year. It has a gorgeous packaging and you can see the designs in this little swatch. I'm showing them to you right now. I selected a few of them for my DIY picture frame and I think these papers gave the project a really elegant look. I also used some dies to build and decorate the frame. These ones here are the Happy Frames dies and actually help you build the frame itself. And then I used the snowflake set, and there is also a larger snowflake die available in the ModaScrap store. And this one here is called Christmas Tree Box die. As a first step, I started actually building the frame itself. As I said, I used the Happy Frame die by ModaScrap to cut one of the designs in the Christmas LE paper. I picked this green one with these very thin white stripes and I measured the size at which I had to trim it down so that I could run it through my die cutting machine with the die in the Happy Frame set. The die basically die cuts what you need to create each of the 4 sides you will need on your frame. So you're gonna run your paper through the die cutting machine 4 times in order to get 4 die cut pieces. The pieces will have some score lines and I'm showing you how you can fold your paper on the score lines themselves and then fold it to create your 4 sides of the picture frame. I'm using a score tool to help me fold everything neatly and then I can go ahead and assemble the pieces. I'm using some double-sided adhesive and I am running it on the shorter side at the very top of each of the die cut pieces. You can use liquid glue, but double-sided adhesive might be a little bit faster in this case. It's up to personal preference. This one here is 1/4 inch wide and it was the perfect size for these die cuts. In order to assemble each piece, I'm going to first remove the backing sheet from the adhesive. I'm then going to fold the side with the adhesive and fold the rest on top so that basically the little strip at the top and the one at the bottom are glued to each other. And I'm going to show you once again. It's actually pretty simple. So we first expose the adhesive, then we fold over the side with the adhesive and fold the rest basically in half so that the top and the bottom strips are glued nicely on top of each other. We are going to repeat this until we have all 4 sides and then we can go ahead and actually build our frame. Each of the pieces we build has one side which is slanted and that will be at the front of the frame because it will give it a nice finish. I'm showing you how you're going to tuck each side with the other in order to build your frame, and then now we are actually going to go ahead and use some liquid glue to put everything together. I used liquid glue this time because the area to put adhesive was pretty small, so this gave me more precision. With hindsight, it might have been a little bit easier to do this already while gluing the sides to the background of my frame, because in that case I wouldn't have had to hold the pieces together with my hands while the glue was drying. Nouveau Deluxe adhesive though dries pretty quickly, so this didn't take very long at all. And once I had the main body of the frame ready, I could go ahead and adhere it to the background. The paper is another design from the XMas LE collection, and I trimmed it down to size with my guillotine trimmer. And the reason why I chose this particular design is that it made me think about a snowfall, but it also had this nice touch of color. Next, I'm going to start creating elements to decorate the frame. I'm going to create a 3D Christmas tree with the Christmas tree box die by ModaScrap. I chose the paper design with the pine needles because it felt really appropriate, and then I die cut 2 pieces, so I'm going to have 2 halves of my tree. One is already assembled and you can see it on screen, and the other one I am assembling now with you. So you're going to first fold your double along the score lines, and then you're going to glue the flaps on top of each other. In this case I'm using Nouveau glue, but you can also use double-sided adhesive, it's up to you. Once I have both the halves ready, I'm going to show you how clever this die is. If I glue or put together the 2 halves the way I'm showing you, I have a tree, but I can rotate them and stack them like this, and I have a rectangular box. At the bottom of each half there is a little flap that you can open to insert candies or small gifts. So you can build your own treat box either for Christmas or for any time of the year. Because I don't need it for that purpose, I actually went ahead and glued down the bottom as well. And then I decided to use my fluffy in brilliant white to create the effect of falling snow on top of the tree. So I picked up a very tiny amount of the fluffy, I diluted it with some water, and then with the paintbrush I'm going to create some droplets. And this will not only add these white droplets, but also some shimmer because the fluffies contain glitter in them. So this is a very fun accent. The Christmas tree box die set also has dies that cut these banners here. I cut 2 out of the ModaScrap Woodstock white paper, and I'm going to add some fluffy to them too using this time a flat paintbrush. The fluffy will add some texture and some shimmer to these banners too, and we're going to use them to decorate the frame. I then decided that I wanted to add a stamped image to my frame, and I selected one from the Unconventional Christmas stamp set. I stamped it with Memento ink in London Fog on Woodstock white paper by ModaScrap, and I also stamped the word joy from the same stamp set, using again Memento in London Fog. For my coloring today, I decided to use my Prismacolor pencils because I thought that the look of pencils will match nicely with the muted colors of the palette and the overall soft look. I tried some color combinations on the back of the sheet that you see on screen right now, and I tried to select some reds and some greens that would match as closely as possible the ones that I have on my frame. They don't have to be the exact same, but it's nice if they are close enough. I started by coloring the face of this little girl and then moved on to the clothes and the hat. I'm using some reds here and also used a brown pencil and a white one for the shadows and the highlights respectively. I then went for some olive greens for the mitten and the shoe, and I'm going to leave the rest of her clothes white, but I'm still going to add some shadow to create some dimension on the images, and for that I used some cool gray pencils. For the body of the penguin, I wanted to have some black color, but in the same way in which I added some shadows to my white areas, also my black areas will not be flat and completely black. So I started by adding my shadows using a very dark cool gray pencil, and then I'm going to blend it outwards towards the highlight using lighter pencils. And this way the look is still black in a way, but we have dimension and interest added to the image. I used my dark cool grey pencil also to add back the detail of the eyes of the penguin and the little girl, as well as the eyebrows of the penguin. I shaded the body of the penguin as if it was white again, and then for the beak I used some orange pencils. I added some color to the hair of the little girl using some brown pencils and some flicking motions to create a little bit of interest and texture. And then I went back in and added some white highlights to the eyes of both characters using a white gel pen. I die cut the image and the word joy with the coordinating dies to the ModaScrap Unconventional Christmas stamp set, and then I moved on and kept creating some decorations for my frame. The paper that you see on screen is also part of the Christmas LE collection, and these rectangles are the perfect size to be die cut with the ModaScrap Dashing Rectangles dies, which I thought was really nice. As the name suggests, the dies emboss a dashed pattern all around your rectangle die cuts, which is a very nice added detail. I also went ahead and die cut 2 more rectangles out of the Woodstock white paper by ModaScrap. They are 2 different sizes, and I'm stamping a sentiment that means picture here using the Memento ink in London Fog. The set is called Album and it's also by ModaScrap, and these rectangles will be the placeholders for the pictures that either I or the recipient will add to the picture frame. I layered the sentiment panel as well as the picture placeholders to more rectangles die cut with the Dashing Rectangles dies out of the red plaid pattern paper in the Christmas LE collection, and then I could go ahead and start assembling my frame. I started by gluing the 2 halves of my Christmas tree together before adhering that to my picture frame. I'm raising my picture frame and leveling the tree and the base of the frame using the surface of my desk so that everything is nice and flush. And then I'm going to add those 2 banners with the stars at the top left corner of the frame, the sentiment at the bottom left corner with these nice images adding attention and a cute detail around this nice sentiment. I then adhered the picture placeholders at the back of the frame at an angle with respect to each other to add a little bit more interest, and I also glued down the word joy. Because I really love adding layers and details to my projects, I decided to add a few snowflakes. I die cut them from Woodstock white paper by ModaScrap using the snowflakes set. And like I did for the banners, I am going to add some texture and some shimmer using the Fluffy in Brilliant White. You can actually layer these die cuts to create some very nice and lovely snowflakes. And on my final project, I will have 2 layered snowflakes. One I'm gluing right now behind the sentiment panel, and the other one will go behind my picture holder. And then I'm going to have one last snowflake that I created by die cutting some paper only with the smallest die in the set and coating that as well with the Fluffy in Brilliant White. And this last snowflake that you see right here is going to be tucked behind the Christmas tree. And this is my project for today. It was actually really fun to put together and incredibly easy and rather quick as well. There wasn't much coloring involved, and if you don't enjoy coloring, you could trim out one of the images in the pattern papers that coordinate with the Unconventional Christmas stamp set. So I really hope you'll give this project a try. And that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I inspired you to create with the ModaScrap Happy Frame dies and the Christmas LE collection. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiration. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a great day.